we? That's right, the Scottish Premiership is just about to kick off, but this is how I think the league will end. Let's get into it. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today, we're going to predict the entire Scottish Premiership. That's right, for the 2020-2021 season, and we're going to get to it in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Scottish Premiership related, Blackburn Rovers related, World Football related. That's right. So, before I'm going to talk about the old Scottish Premiership in just a second, I want a big shout out to the Patreons for their support in the channel. You know who you are. The Dream 11, the Dream Team. That is Russell Frost, Aztec Marking Rock, John Spurn, Tom Clark with his mucker, Tom Beresford, Jacob Johansson, Cody Gaho, Bianca Muller, Daniel Mellor, LG and Cow, William Shepherd, Cody Gaho, I think I said him. So respect to them for supporting the channel, especially through these weird times that we're going through. It puts a smile on my face every single day. And now, if you want to become best mates like these boys and girls are, there is a link down below to check it out. Become patrons of the channel, and we'll be forever family. That's family. That's not Scottish. But anyway, let's talk about it then, shall we? Let's jump into the old vortex. Ladbrokes Premiership. For the first time ever, we're going to predict each and every one of the Premier League Premiership games coming out of Scotland. In fact, you're going to be debuting my 2020-2021 new style of prediction shows. That's right. We're going to do a preview show and we're going to do a review show. That's right. So we're going to do each and every one of them. But today, we're going to predict how I think the 12 teams will end up at the end of the season. That's right. Before we get into the old predictions and all that kind of stuff and where everybody's going to end up in the table, let's remind ourselves as to who will be taking part into this year's tournament, or this year's league, shall we say. So here are those 12 teams. We'll start with, of course, in alphabetical order, Aberdeen. Aye, that's right. Aye, they play their football at the Pittodrie Stadium, which can usually hold 20,866 people. They are governed by Derek McInnes, that's right, who is probably one of the most sought-after managers in Scottish football. Been constantly linked with the old Scottish job until Matey Boy took over. They did finish 4th last season. They made it to the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup, which I think is still in progress, and I think because of the old COVID, it's going to be played in December. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they also made it to the quarterfinals of the League Cup. Their top goal scorer last season was Sam Cosgrove. So I think for their progression this season, they've got to keep a hold of him because he, of course, has quite a hefty amount of goals. They are joined by, of course, the champions, and it could be actually a very, very special year for them. It's Glasgow Celtic, or just Celtic to you and I. They play their football at Celtic Park, which can hold 60,411 folks. And I believe, my understanding is the Scottish Premier League or Premiership will start with no fans. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's going to be kind of a bit weird with such a grand stadium such as that, with 0 people in there, or next to no people in there. Neil Lennon is the manager. Not too sure what I think about that. Of course, he has been there, seen it and done it. But to be honest with you, I think it was a little bit handed to on a plate for him last season. Of course, Brendan Rodgers has done a fantastic job before he buggered off to Leicester. We'll talk more about the situations, permutations and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, they are the champions. They did finish first. Semi-final, still the Scottish Cup. Of course, they won the League Cup. And it could be a trouble for them still. Oddison Edouard, key man. They've got some very, very good players, of course, Celtic, compared to the rest. And they're going to be, no spoiler alert here, they're going to be in the top 2. That's right, for sure. But they've got to keep a hold of the likes of Edouard, Nitcham and all those kinds of players. They've got some very, very good players that could do very well in the Premier League and also across the continent. Meanwhile, Dundee United, they're back, boys. They are back, playing their football at Tannadice Park. 14,223 people can attend. Mickey Mellon is now the governor. I think he's formerly of Tranmere. Formerly Robbie Nielsen was in charge, got himself promoted, but he buggered off back to Hearts. That's where his heart lies, boys. That's where his heart lies. First round of the Scottish Championship. They finished first in the Scottish Championship last season. 4th round of the Scottish Cup and the group stages of the League Cup. Lawrence Shankland is a very, very crafty young Scotsman. Is a very much sought after player. I know at the start of the last season in the Championship, a lot of the clubs, Forest, even Rovers, some other bits and pieces, were taking a look at him. They were trying to bring him over to the Championship. But no, he's going to be here now in the Premiership for what it stands. Of course, transfer window is open. We'll have to see. And of course, these predictions are very ridiculously early. But the season does kick off in less than a week, or just over a week. Anyway, moving on. Hamilton Academicals. They play their football at New Douglas Park. 6,018 people can watch it if they want. Brian Rice pulls the strings around there. They finished 11th last season. They finished in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Scottish Cup, and second in the League Cup. Their top goal scorer is Marius Okmukboe. It's easier for you to say, with 7 goals last time around. Hibernian, yeah, that's right, the Hibs, who play their football at Easter Road. 20,421 people can attend. Edinburgh's finest, of course. Hearts no longer in the Premiership. Jack Ross pulling the strings these days, of course, formerly of Sunderland. He did very, very well last time he was in the Scottish division. He replaces Matey Boy. Can't remember him. Former Barnsley manager. Can't remember. But Jack Ross, I think that's a safe pair of hands for Hibs. I think they'll do very, very well this season. I think they'll hope to better their 7th place finish last time around. But they're still in the semi-final of the Scots Cup again. We'll play later on in the year. They managed to the League Cup semi-finals. Their top goal scorer is Christian Duij. Again, keep a hold of him and you got goals. Joining them will be Kilmarnock. That's right, who finished in 8th last season. They are managed by Alex Dyer, of course, former assistant manager to the previous Kilmarnock governor, who's now the Scottish manager, Clarky boy. That's right, Stevie Clark. 17,889 people can attend these bad boys. They finished 8th last season, 5th in the 5th round of the Scottish Cup. Quarterfinals of the League Cup. The Eamon Brofrey is their top goal scorer with 11 last season. Into the back stretches now. Livingston. They play their football at Almond Vale Stadium. 9,512 people can attend there. They finished 5th last season under Gary Holt. 5th round of the Scottish Cup. Quarterfinal of the League Cup. Lyndon Dykes, top goal scorer with 11. I think it was joint top scorer. There might have another one with 11 goals. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alongside them will be Motherwell. Okay, what a season they had. They play their football at Fir Park. 13,677 people can attend. Stephen Robinson is the governor there. 3rd, like I said, 5th round of the Scottish Cup. 2nd round of the League Cup. Top goal scorer was Chris Long. Alongside a defender, I think, with 11 goals. Not too shabby. Here we go. Rangers, of course, looking to get themselves some hands-on silverware this year. They usually play the football at Ibrox, which holds 50,817 folks. They've still got Europa League football to deal with, which I think happens after the reboot of this or the relaunch of the Scottish football. Stephen Gerrard is the manager. They did finish 2nd. Quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup, and they got knocked out. And they made it to the final where they got knocked out by their bitter rivals, Celtic. Alfredo Morelos, 29 goals last season. Will he be there this season? A lot of clubs sniffing around. He is a very, very top-notch player, and I think he deserves to play somewhere else, but he may stick around. Ross County, they are managed by Stuart Keltwell. They play the football at Victoria Park. 6,541 people can attend. They finished 10th last season, 4th round of the Scottish Cup. League Cup was 2nd round. Billy Mackay got himself 11 goals last season as the top goal scorer. And into the final 2, it's the Saints. Super Jays, St Mirren will start. 10,696 folks can watch the games at McDermott Park if they were allowed. Callum Davidson, respected by ex-Rover, pulling the strings there, coming in and filling in the void as governor. 6th last season. That's a massive target to equal or even better for Callum Davidson. They finished in the quarterfinal of the Scottish Cup, the group stage League Cup. The top goal scorer was ex-Rover Callum Hendry. That's right, and of course his dad won a bit of silverware at Ewer Park as well. And then wrapping it up, it is St Mirren. Play their football at St Mirren Park. 7,937 people can attend. Jim Goodwin is the governor. 9th last season. Quarterfinal of the Scottish Cup and the League Cup. They finished at the group stage with the top goal scorer, Jonathan Obika, with 11 goals. So, there we go. That's enough of the shibby shabby. Now we're going to take a look at the where I think these boys are going to finish, of course. We don't do it easy here. We're going to start in the middle and work our way down from 7th to 12th, and then we'll do the top 6. So it all kicks off, of course, on August the 1st, and you can catch a special, well, not really special, it's going to be a regular series, folks. A preview and a review to the Scottish Premiership match day 1, and we're going to continue that through the conclusion of the campaign. That will be around about early next week, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. We'll have the preview and that, and then we'll go over the games, of course, for the likes of Aberdeen versus Rangers. That's a tasty one as well. So let's get into it and take a little look at who I think will finish in 7th. Well, last season, who did finish in 7th? It was Hibs. That's right. It wasn't going to be Hibs this year. It's going to be, for me, Dundee United. That's right. The new boys. It'll be a tremendous campaign for them. Of course, I think they belong in this division. There are a lot of clubs that kind of cheating the system here and just being around. You likes, no disrespect. I have Hamilton, Ross County. Who else is it in here? Livingston. You know, these clubs are not, for me, not top level Scottish Scottish clubs, the likes of Hearts, Dundee United, even Inverness Caledonian Thistle, I believe should be in the top flight. But for me, this season, Dundee United will have a respectable 7th place finish. Of course, new manager in charge, Mickey Mellon. He's been there, seen it, done it in England. I don't know really his managerial history, if he's ever done anything up in Scotland. So I ain't no expert. I'm not an expert, but I think Dundee United will have a nice campaign and finish 7th. Below them, though, will be, who's going to be in 8th? Well, it's going to be the Super Jays. That's right, St Johnstone. What do I think about that? What do I think about the Super Jays? Well, they've got me old mucker Callum Davison. You know, again, what did they finish? 6th last time out. You know, to be honest with you, I think if Callum Davison's first managerial campaign as a full-on manager, I think that's not a too shabby end product there. 6th place last season is an incredible achievement for a club of that size. They do belong in the top flight, I think, but I think they're a lower echelon sort of club, around about 8th, 9th, 10th, something like that. And I think anything above the 10th spot, you're looking at a decent season. To 9th spot we go, and it is a bit of a surprise considering where they finished last season. I'm going to go with Livingston. That's right. Of course, they finished in 5th. There was still a considerable part of the season left to go before the season was kibosh. So you've got to remember that, you know, Hibs finishing 7th, Livingston finishing in 5th. To be honest with you, I don't think that's where they would have ended up last season anyway. I think the spectrum would have been different. Again, you could even argue the case that Hearts probably wouldn't have got themselves relegated. But that's the nature of the beast, and it's too little too late for them. Livingston, 9th spot. To be honest with you, I don't think that's too bad. They're going to look at it as a bit of a downgrade, of course, from 5th spot. It's a drop of 4 places. Of course, 5th spot is top half, top section of the table. You've got to be in top 6. So yeah, 9th place will be a kick in the bollocks, and it may cost a man's job. You just don't know. I don't know how cutthroat it is up in Scotland, but if you finish 5th one season, then you finish in 9th in such a small season as this, it could be a bit of a downgrade. Next up, we have 10th place. It'll be Ross County. No change there. No change. They did finish 10th last season. I expect them to be there or thereabouts this season. I think that's around about what the bookmakers think. The bookmakers have got them now 1,500 to 1 to win the title, which is 10th favourites. So it's about right. Meanwhile, I'll backtrack a bit. Livingston are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th favourites with the bookies at 1,000 to 1. St Johnstone are 8th, which is around about where I've got them. Dundee United are around about 9th, so ain't too shabby. Giving a little bit of a promotion there at 1,000 to 1. Into the bottom 2 now. Of course, this is where it gets a little bit squeaky bum. But unfortunately, for number place 11th will be Hamilton Academicals. Again, no change there. They did finish 11th last season in the Mickey Mouse tournament, which got ruined by COVID. Would they have survived? I don't know. They had 4 points clear, 4 points gap over Hearts, but again with games to spare, of course. To be honest with you, I think if they finished 11th, they'll be happy with that. They're treading water at the moment. They're one of those sides that could always get sucked into the relegation discussion each and every season. So I think they're happy. But who is going to go down? If you look at all these, who are we missing? Who is the lowbrow club that you expect? Well, to be honest with you, is it a surprise? St Mirren. Yeah, St Mirren actually finished 9th last season. For me, they will be going down this season. They're actually favourites to go down. Actually, joint favourites alongside Hamilton. So yeah, both 2,500 to 1 to win the title. Long shots. Any arguments with the bottom 6 there? Get your own predictions in the old comment section down below. We'll take a look at what you guys think, and of course we'll keep you up to breast with match day by match day into the top 6. This is where the money's all at then, shall we? Who's going to be in number 6 spot? Of course, last season it was St Johnstone. Not this year, boys. It will be maybe a bit of a surprise. Kilmarnock, no, they did finish where they finished 8th last season. A promotion perhaps with Alex Dyer in charge. Maybe the same mojo of matey boy Stevie Clark. Will they bring back the old memories? Of course, they had an Italian stallion last season, or a foreign manager who just didn't work out for them last year. So they want to get back to the good old days where Stevie Clark was pushing them in top four credentials. Actually, did they get into Europe a couple of seasons back? Well, those feel like 8 years ago. Something crazy, madness. But anyway, for me, Kilmarnock will finish 6th. Will Alex Dyer be the man to do it? I think so. I think he's a decent manager. Doesn't get much credit. Outside of Kilmarnock, he doesn't get much credit. But inside Kilmarnock, and of course Scotland, he gets a lot of credit. He followed Stevie Clark. He might even still be assistant manager to Stevie Clark over at Scotland. He might have dual duties. But I still think they're going to be a decent candidate. It'll be a tight finish between themselves and Dundee United for 6th and 7th. Maybe even St Johnstone could be in the mix as well. Those 3, I think, are very equal. But to be honest with you, once that split comes, comes midway through the season or towards the back end of the season, it's a major clout to finish in that top 6. And I'm going to give it to Kilmarnock. So here we go into the Power 5 now. Of course, top 4 is European bound. 5th spot will be the unluckiest team in football, and it's going to be Motherwell for me. That's right, Motherwell. They did tremendous last season, finishing 3rd, albeit on the COVID league. Top 5, they're one of the teams. I remember them themselves alongside Aberdeen to be the best of the rest, alongside Hearts, alongside Hibs. Those 6 clubs for me remind they're Scotland through and through, Scottish Premier, top level football through and through. But we've seen them all dribble up and down the Championship. I don't know when Aberdeen or if they've ever been relegated in the past 20 years. But I think Motherwell have been up and down, Hibs have been up and down, Hearts now been up and down, and of course the Dundee clubs are a bit of a yo-yo ones at the moment. But Motherwell will finish 5th for me. Which will be a little bit of heartbreak because, of course, they've actually qualified for the Europa League first qualifying round for next season, or this season that we're talking about. So they'll be in Europe this season. I like to see them do very, very well, and you know what? I'd like to see one of the clubs like Aberdeen, Motherwell go deep into the competition. I'm talking about the group stages and maybe even the later knockout stages. It'll just do well. Do the Scottish Premiership. Kudos. It needs a bit of credit. It needs a bit of joy to see some of these clubs go deep. And it's the same with the top 2. The Rangers and Celtic. I like to see them make it to the group stages of the Champions League and maybe even beyond. I remember the days in the 90s and the early noughts where Celtic and Rangers were duking it out with the big boys, Uniteds and all that kind of stuff. It was all good fun. Anyway, I'm on a rant. Anyway, let's take a look at the Power 4 now. And it'll be Aberdeen for me. Aberdeen, of course, they are ever-present now in the top 3. Of course, finishing 4th last time out, 4th this season. McInnes is a wonderful manager. They've got a great team, great bunch of boys, and he's not changing things. He's not going anywhere. He's been lured year after year after year after year, and he'll probably get lured again this summer. He might not even be the manager come kick-off because a lot of the Championship clubs, what is it? Who just got Bristol City, got rid of their manager? Who else is going? Birmingham are looking for a new manager. There are other clubs looking, and it could just be the domino effect from here on in. Maybe 4, 5, 6 different Championship clubs, maybe even some Premier League clubs will be coming sniffing for decent managers, and he is grade A quality manager. And Aberdeen are very fortunate to have him. He could have been lured by Rangers. He could have been lured by Scotland many, many times over. And credit to him for sticking around and building such a nice, well-run team over in Aberdeen. But unfortunately, they're going to finish 4th this season. Why is that? Well, I think Jack Ross is going to do a tremendous job in his first full season at Hibs boss. Of course, 7th place finish wasn't great for Hibs, but for me, a huge jump of 4 places into the top 3 and maybe even European football as well the season after. But yeah, Jack Ross, of course, he did a tremendous job out in Scotland his first time around before getting lured by Sunderland. It didn't really work out for him then, but that is just a poison chalice right now. Nobody wants to touch Sunderland with a barge pole. They just got too much expectation, and with 0 time to do anything. I think if you gave Jack Ross 3 seasons at Sunderland, they'd have him working as a treat. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and it's going to be an interesting case to see as to when Sunderland bounce back and who will be the lucky man to do it. But unfortunately, Jack Ross wasn't the case. But I think him and Hibs are a perfect fit to take this club forward. Into the Power 2 now. I'm going to do these, of course, as simultaneously. Is the Glasgow teams. Is it going to be Celtic? Is it going to be Rangers? Well, I'll tell you now. It's not Celtic. It's going to be Rangers. Yeah, I do it every year. Why? I think this year I'm more certain. As long as Stevie G sticks around, he'll get it. He'll get it this time around. If he decides to get tempted elsewhere, by a Birmingham, by a Bristol City, by another club, maybe floating around, or even a Premier League club, then Rangers will not get the title. If he sticks around, he'll get it. I think that way he's got that winning mentality. I know, yeah, he didn't win the Premier League, but he's got that sort of that grip between his teeth, and he's earning his trust here. A lot of people, including me, I thought he'd be a one-season wonder. He'd do it. He'd either get fired or he would go somewhere else and chase the money, and we would never hear from him again. But he's sticking around, sticking to his guns, and he's creating a system here. Keeping Alfredo Morelos, of course, is a massive caveat. You need him because he does bring you goals, 20, 25 goals a season, man, and they don't come around very much. They're like rocking horse shit, I tell you. So Celtic, I'm not convinced by Neil Lennon. Yeah, he kind of got gifted a nice looking Celtic side, but and of course he won it last time around, and he's been there, seen it, and done it. But you know, sometimes things get a little bit stale, things get a little bit old, and you need something new and something vibrant and something different. I think Rangers are that. They just, you know, I think they need to be very savvy in the transfer window. I think Stevie Gerrard is a big lure to work alongside him, play for him, that sort of stuff. And it's coming. It's coming. That title is coming. And of course, there is a lot of expectation on Celtic to make it 10 in a row, something crazy. I don't know. But for me, I think Rangers are going to snatch it this time around. What about you boys? What do you think? Get your own predictions in the old comment section down below. And like I said, we are going to be taking a look at this division in a bit more detail. We're going to do it match day by match day. We're going to have a preview and review show. And of course, it will be the debut of the Prediction League. What's that, I hear you say? Well, that means you just show up for the previews, get your own predictions in for the things. We take a look at your predictions in the review show and see how well you've done. And then we'll give you a ranking, wherever that is in the old the spectrum. If you are leading after match day 1, you get a crown next to your name. So next time you predict, you'll be known as the current Prediction King or Prediction Leader or Prediction Guru or whatever. We'll come up with some sort of snazzy nickname. And then, of course, if you come out on top of the table at the end of the season, you will be the official Prediction King for the Scottish Premiership. That's right. So that's to look forward to. Hopefully you will come by, and make sure in order to do that, make sure you smash the subscribe, smash the bell as well, so you don't miss a beat, because you need to be on the money. You got to be a regular predictor. You can't just show up for like 2 prediction shows and get 100% and then piss off to the end of the season and come back and claim your amazing merch or whatever it is at the end. You got to be a regular, 75% or something, or I don't know, attendance rate. Get your predictions in nice and anyway, that's it. Yeah, for me, Rangers to go all the way, Celtic to just miss out. It'll be tight. It'll be tight. Hopefully the season will have no shenanigans this time around, and hopefully we'll get a complete season under our belts. But that's it. Until I see you again, which will be the match day number 1 for Scottish Premiership, which will be right around the corner, probably Monday or Tuesday. So make sure you stick around for that. Get your predictions in for those match days, and of course, get your predictions in for the league right here, right now. Until then, though, check out the description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there: Twitter, Facebook, and of course Patreon. If you want to support the channel in another way, that's the way to do it. Patreon.com/Roverseas. Smash me up on follow. Smash me up on follow. Follow me on Smash. Smash me on follow on Twitter, Facebook, and all that kind of jazz. I'll see you on the flip. Let's go. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.